Learning English, Intermediate Grammar, Modal Verbs. Hello, English language learners. Welcome back to another exciting video on learning English, Intermediate Grammar. In today's lesson, we will dive deeper into modal verbs and focus specifically on the topic of obligation and necessity. More specifically, we'll explore the negative forms and questions related to this aspect of modal verbs. So, let's get started. When we want to express obligation or necessity in the negative form using modal verbs, we have to use a combination of the modal verb and the word not. Let's take a look at some examples. Must not. This expresses prohibition or strong advice. For example, you must not smoke in this area. Here, we're emphasizing that it is absolutely not allowed to smoke in that specific area. Should not. This indicates a recommendation or advice against doing something. For instance, you should not eat too much junk food. This implies that it is advisable to avoid consuming excessive amounts of unhealthy food. Need not. This expresses that something is not necessary or required. For example, you need not bring your laptop to the meeting. Here, we're stating that it's not obligatory to bring the laptop for the meeting. Don't have to. This is used to say that something is not necessary or required, similar to need not. For instance, you don't have to wear a tie to this event. This implies that wearing a tie is optional and not mandatory. Remember, when forming negative sentences with modal verbs, the word not is placed after the modal verb, except for don't have to, where don't is used as the negative form. Now let's explore how to form questions using modal verbs to express obligation and necessity. We can use modal verbs at the beginning of a sentence to ask about the necessity or obligation of a particular action. Here are some examples. Must. This is used to ask about strong obligations or requirements. For instance, must I complete this assignment by tomorrow? This question inquires whether it is necessary to finish the assignment by the following day. Should. This indicates asking for advice or recommendation. For example, should we take a taxi to the airport? Here, we're seeking suggestions on the best mode of transportation to the airport. Need. This is used to ask about necessity. For instance, need I bring my passport to the interview? This question inquires whether it is required to bring the passport for the interview. Do I have to? This is used to ask about obligation or necessity, similar to need. For example, do I have to attend the meeting tomorrow? This question asks whether it is mandatory to be present at the meeting the following day. Remember, when forming questions with modal verbs, the modal verb comes before the subject in the sentence. Congratulations! You've made it through the negative forms and questions section of obligation and necessity when it comes to modal verbs. Understanding how to use the negative forms and ask questions with modal verbs will greatly enhance your English language skills. Keep practicing and using modal verbs in various contexts to become more confident in their usage. Don't forget to check out our other videos in the Learning English, Intermediate Grammar series for more exciting grammar topics. Thank you for joining us today, and we hope this video has been helpful in your English language learning journey. Remember to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to stay updated with our